What if the world you experience every day, the news you read, the shows you watch, the curated lives on your social media feed, even your own sense of self, isn't real? Not in a dream sense, but something far more insidious. What if it's a copy without an original? A meticulously crafted simulation that has become so pervasive, so convincing, that it has entirely replaced the very reality it was supposed to represent, leaving us adrift in a hyper-real desert? This isn't the plot of a sci-fi movie, though it heavily inspired some of the greatest. This is the chilling diagnosis of our postmodern condition by the French philosopher and cultural theorist Jean Baudrillard. He argued that we have moved beyond a world of genuine experiences and authentic objects into an era of simulacra and simulation, where the signs and symbols of reality have taken precedence over reality itself, effectively erasing it. And the most terrifying part? We might not even notice. Or worse, we might actually prefer the fake. Hey, are you ready to question the very fabric of your perceived existence? To explore the unnerving possibility that you're living in Baudrillard's nightmare? A world where authenticity is a forgotten relic and the simulation is king? Because understanding his ideas might just be the red pill you need to see the desert of the real that lies beneath the dazzling surfaces of our modern lives. This is a journey into the hyper-real, and a warning. You might never see the world the same way again. Jean Baudrillard, a provocative and often controversial thinker, emerged as a critical voice in the latter half of the 20th century, analyzing consumer society, media culture, and the shifting nature of reality itself. His central thesis revolves around simulacra, which are copies or representations, and simulation, the process by which these copies come to constitute our world. But Baudrillard took this further than anyone before. He outlined a kind of historical progression, or perhaps a descent, through 4 orders or phases of the image. First, the image is a reflection of a basic reality. Think of a faithful portrait or a traditional map. It aims to accurately represent something that truly exists. It's a good, honest copy. Second, the image masks and perverts a basic reality. This is an unfaithful copy, one that deliberately distorts or conceals the truth of the original. Think of propaganda, or an idealized advertisement that makes a mundane product seem magical. The original reality is still there, but it's being twisted. This is the order of maleficence, or what Baudrillard called sorcery. Third, the image masks the absence of a basic reality. Here, the copy pretends to be a faithful representation of an original that actually doesn't exist. It's pure pretense. Baudrillard famously used Disneyland as an example. It presents an idealized, sanitized version of America, a fantasy of Main Street USA that was never truly real, thereby making the real America outside seem, by comparison, more authentic, even though it too is shot through with its own simulations. This order plays at being an appearance. And this leads us to the 4th, most crucial and most disturbing order. The image bears no relation to any reality whatever. It is its own pure simulacrum. This is the realm of hyperreality. Here, the simulation doesn't just mask or distort reality, it replaces it. The model precedes the real. The map comes before the territory, and in fact, the map generates the territory. There's no original to refer back to. We are left only with signs, symbols, and models that refer only to each other, creating a self-contained, self-referential world that is more real than real. Think about it. Reality television that is meticulously scripted and edited to appear realer than everyday life. Social media profiles that present idealized, curated versions of individuals, which then become the standard by which real lives are judged. News cycles that generate endless commentary and events around simulations, often losing touch with any underlying facts. Theme parks that create perfect utopian worlds. Even war, Baudrillard provocatively argued, as with the first Gulf War, can become a hyper-real event, experienced by most as a sanitized, media-filtered spectacle, a virtual war of images and information, detached from the brutal reality on the ground. In this hyper-reality, the distinction between the sign and the signified, the map and the territory, the fake and the authentic, implodes. We lose the ability to tell the difference, or perhaps we even lose the desire to. We become fascinated, seduced by the surfaces, the endless play of images, the perfection of the model. This, for Baudrillard, is the desert of the real. Not necessarily a physical desert, but a state where genuine reality has receded, become inaccessible, or has been so thoroughly simulated that it no longer holds any sway. What are the consequences of living in such a hyper-real world? Baudrillard painted a rather bleak picture. It leads to a loss of meaning and history, as everything becomes an interchangeable sign in an endless flow. It creates a culture of passive consumption where we are endlessly seduced by images and spectacle, rather than actively engaging with the world. Distinctions between true and false, good and evil, can become blurred or irrelevant. Even our own identities can feel simulated, constructed from media narratives and consumer choices rather than from deep, authentic experience. We become, in a sense, terminals for the reception and circulation of signs. So, is there any escape from Baudrillard's matrix? This is where he is perhaps most challenging and often seen as deeply pessimistic. Unlike Foucault, who saw resistance as possible wherever there is power, Baudrillard offered fewer clear paths out. He spoke of fatal strategies, sometimes suggesting that the only response to a system of total simulation is a kind of ironic hyperconformity, or perhaps that the system might eventually collapse under the weight of its own meaningless proliferation of signs, an implosion. He was more of a diagnostician of our condition than a prescriber of easy cures. But perhaps the first step towards any kind of clarity, any kind of resistance, however small, is to simply become aware of the simulation, to cultivate a critical eye towards the media we consume, the narratives we accept, the virtual worlds we inhabit, to question the reality that is presented to us and to seek out, however difficult it may be, moments or experiences that feel less mediated, less constructed, more real, whatever that may now mean. Baudrillard's ideas are a profound challenge to our digital age, where AI-generated content, deepfakes, virtual realities, and the metaverse are pushing the boundaries of simulation further than ever before. Are we willingly plugging ourselves into ever more sophisticated illusions? And what happens to the human soul when the desert of the real becomes our only known landscape? What are your thoughts? Do you feel the presence of hyper-reality in your life? Where do you see the lines between the real and the simulated blurring? Is Baudrillard's vision too pessimistic, or a necessary wake-up call? Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. If this journey into the unsettling world of Jean Baudrillard has made you question the nature of your reality, please give this video a like, Subscribe to One Pixel Soul for more philosophy that pulls back the curtain, and hit that notification bell. Thank you for daring to confront the simulation with us. The quest for authenticity in a hyper-real world is perhaps one of the greatest challenges of our time. Keep questioning. Keep seeking. We'll see you in the next one, whatever next and seeing might even mean.